Hello and welcome to InspireAbility. I am Ruby, and this is the beginning of a very important journey. I want to welcome you specially to the human reality of rebuilding, a series that is all about what happens when life changes in ways we never expected them to change. This series is about disability, but also a series about identity, resilience, purpose, hope, and the process of rebuilding. Let us start off with this. Have you ever experienced a moment in life that changed everything for you completely? A moment where everything you thought you knew about yourself, about your future, suddenly became uncertain. Maybe it was a diagnosis, an accident, an illness, a loss, a major life event. It could have been anything. One moment you're moving forward with your plans, but the very next moment, you're trying to understand a new reality. And one of the hardest questions you've had to face is, who am I now? Now, my own reality. And this conversation is very personal for me. Before my own disability journey, I spent several years working within the health and social care sector. I supported people, I worked with families, I helped people navigate challenging situations. I understood a lot of the system designed to help people. In fact, I made decisions, strategic decisions about how to help people on a day-to-day basis. I was a senior manager, so I made high-level decisions. On a daily basis, that was my job. But life has a way of actually teaching us lessons from unexpected perspectives. Eventually, I found myself experiencing those systems from the other side. I was no longer just someone making those strategic decisions to support people. Whether it was through their disabilities or whether it was through their health challenges, that was no longer me. I became the person that was living with disabilities and chronic health conditions. And that changed my understanding completely. So let's talk about seeing disability differently. One thing I have learned is that disability is often misunderstood. People often see the visible things. Is it the wheelchair, the equipment, the walking aid, the appointments, the support needs, the agonizing expression because of pain. So people see all of this. But what they don't see are the things that happen beneath. The emotional adjustments that a disabled person has had to go through, the grief, the changes to identity, the frustration, the daily frustration, the exhaustion, the daily exhaustion, tiredness. They don't also see the courage it takes to keep adapting, to keep going. And it's understandable. These things are not visible, so they're not out there for people to see. But disability is not just about what the person can or cannot do. It's about learning how to live differently. And that's what this whole series is about. The next thing is, I want to talk about the grief of a changed life. And this is something that is very rarely discussed. Grief, yes. We all shy away from talking about grief. So when disability actually enters your life, you may grieve so many things. People don't consider it. Yes, but we do grieve. You might have had to grieve the career you thought you would have. You might have to have grieved the life you thought you would have in 10 years' time. The activities you loved but you could no longer do, the dependence you once had, the future you had imagined, you had planned, you had prepared for all your life. And sometimes people can't understand that grief. And it's okay because for them, why would you grieve? You're still alive. And I guess they can't understand because they focus only on what you still have. Your life, you have this, you have that. So what is the point grieving what you don't have? But acknowledging the loss does not mean you've given up. It does mean you're not willing to step up and move forward. It actually means recognizing the reality of your journey and also taking steps from that place to begin the rebuilding process. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that rebuilding is not about becoming the person you once were. Sometimes life changes you and it changes you completely. Sometimes your body changes. Sometimes your priorities changes. Sometimes your dreams need to be redefined. And that's okay. A different life does not mean a lesser life. A different path does not mean a meaningless path. Rebuilding is about discovering what is still possible. And throughout this season, we'll explore those. We'll explore things along the lines of how do you rebuild your identity? How do you maintain confidence when circumstances change? How do you navigate the health and social care systems? How do you advocate for yourself? How do you maintain independence? How do you continue pursuing dreams? How do you build a future when life looks different? These conversations matter because disabilities and chronic health, they affect millions of people, but rebuilding affects everyone. And you would ask me, why does this message matter to everyone? Yes, it does matter. Because you may not have experienced disabilities or maybe health challenges, but at some point, we all face change. Everyone experiences moments where life does not go according to plan. Everyone has seasons where they need to rebuild. The details may be different, but the questions are often the same. Who am I now? What happens next? How do I move forward? In closing, I would like to say that if you're listening today and you're in a building or in a rebuilding season, I want you to remember this. Your circumstances may have changed. Your journey may look different. Your timeline may have changed, but your value remains. Your contribution remains. Your future remains. Your story is not over. And sometimes rebuilding means creating something very new from what actually remains. And sometimes it means discovering strengths you never knew you had, discovering possibilities you never knew existed. And sometimes it means learning that your life still has purpose, even when it looks completely different. Yes, it might look different, but it's not the end of the journey for you. So if this episode has encouraged you in any way, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to InspireAbility. Share this episode with someone who you feel needs to hear these words to keep them going. And I would love to hear from you. Definitely love to hear from you. Why don't you drop some comments? Let us know in the comment section what you feel you need to rebuild. What does rebuilding mean to you at this point in time? Have you experienced a season where life has forced you to start again? What is your story? Your story matters to us. We want to hear it. So please drop them in the comment section. Thank you for joining me for the beginning of the human reality of rebuilding. In the next episode, we will be considering what I've titled Coming Back After Being Away, the Return. We'll explore what it actually means to step back after life has forced you to pause. How do you return? How do you rebuild confidence? How do you find your place again? How do you answer those questions, those new burning questions in your heart? Until next time, remember, your story is still being written. It's not the end. It's not the full stop. It's not the end of the book. It's just another chapter. I look forward to meeting with you again next time. Stay positive, stay active, stay alive, and keep moving on. This is Ruby on InspireAbility. Bye for now.